So we got chat. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Coach?
What's good, baby? What's up, Khalil?
What's up, Coach?
Ain't nothing, baby. Dante, what's good with you?
What's up, Coach?
On in the building. Heem out there.
Yeah, I've been out here.
Yeah. Yancey, what's good?
Not much chilling. What about you, Coach?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to see y'all, man. Give us a couple more minutes to pop on here. But as always, we on a time limit, so I don't want this thing to cut off without us getting a chance to talk about the topic of the day. I'm gonna give Cass a couple more minutes and we'll just get started. If they pop in, they'll just pop in. But there we go. Baines popping in right there. What's up, Baines? How you, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Yeah. Good. Like I said, I think a couple more people gonna pop on here, and then we'll get going, man. We'll get going. Lot of hurry up and wait, man, on the voting thing. Everybody went out there, got their vote in. Now we sitting here waiting, just trying to see what's gonna happen. But like we talked about before, at the end of the day, when I woke up on Wednesday, ain't nothing had changed. We still had to do what we had to do. So whenever they make this announcement, you know, we'll be ready to push forward and still continue to strive to be our best in whatever we're trying to get done. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started, man. And as people pop in, okay, they'll just pop in. But can everybody hear me all right?
Oh, yeah.
All
Yes, sir.
So some of you guys may remember this. Coach Parker and I, we had passed out an article. It was a little while ago now about Mookie Betts. It was an interesting article that we read about him. He's a right fielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers Major League Baseball team. He's one of the best players on the planet at baseball. Bless you. So in the article, it was kind of talking about his upbringing, and it was talking about his mom and his dad and kind of like how they raised him and how that kind of made him who he is. And so we've been talking about, you know who you are, know where you come from, know what you stand for. And we've been talking about, know what you want to become. And those things are necessary in order for you to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So it's just interesting. If we read that article about him, and that was, probably almost the beginning of the month or like the middle of the month in October. And interesting, thing about that article is he was talking about how he looks at greatness and how he looks at other sports, other players and different teams, other sports, and how they do things, what great players do, what it takes to be great. So today, Coach Parker and I kind of wanted to, explore that article a little bit further and kind of just dig into what we took from it. And we also want to hear, what you guys took from that article as well. It's been a little while, but I think as we talk about it, it'll probably, refresh you a little bit. So I'm gonna share my screen here and kind of we'll take a look at this thing. So let me know if you can see my screen. Can everybody see that?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So greatness. We talking about what it takes to be great. All right. So we talking about Mookie Betts. All right. And so here's a quote from that article that we talked about, that we passed out. So what do you want to become? All right. So he said, this is a quote from Mookie: "Watching the greats play, they're all just really consistent. They hit their home runs consistently, drive in runs consistently, walk consistently, make good plays. They do it constantly. He said there's not just one and then a long period of time before another one. He said you just have to be good at all aspects of the game all the time. Don't take plays off. So this is something that he felt like he told himself back in 2016. He said, that's when I told myself, that's what I want to do. That's when he decided, like, I want to be great. So he made his major league debut in 2014, right? That's when he made his major league. That's when he first broke into the majors. So he played well. It was a good player. And he felt like there was more out there for him as far as he felt he could take it to another level, right? So there's always levels to this. There's players that are, what I would consider to be good players. And then there's players that are great players. And then even among the greats, people will separate themselves, right? So what this dude decided was, if I want to be one of the greatest of all time, I'm seeing what these other great players do when I watch them play. They're always consistent. There ain't really a whole bunch of highs and lows, like long periods of time before they show up. Like they show up constantly one way or another, right? So, that's one of the things that I took from this article. Coach Parker, you can jump in anytime, man, with some of the stuff that you took from it as well.
Well, we've talked about that word consistency a lot, all right? And really, consistency is the true test of a man, right? We are tested with that in all aspects and all arenas of life. Anybody can do something temporarily. Anybody can be something some of the time or when it's convenient. You could be a good son, you could be a good father, you could be a good teammate, you could be good at anything, or you can do anything some of the time, or when it feels good, or when the coast is clear, or when everything is going well. But the true test of a man and a true test of a player in all walks of life is, can you do that day in and day out? No matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, no matter how hot it is, it doesn't matter. Put me here, and this is what I am, because it goes back to what we talk about. I know exactly who I am. I know what I want to be, and I'm focused on that. And I just walk my life and live my life in that manner. And so that's what he's talking about. He wanted to be something. He wanted to be great, and it started off with doing things consistently, doing it day in and day out. Man. So that's what resonated with me when I saw that.
No doubt. Anybody else, man? I know it's been a little while since you guys read it, but any other thoughts, man? You guys can unmute. If it made you think about something, all you gotta do is just speak up. All right, so I was reading. Did somebody else have something? All right, cool. All right, I was reading this other article about him today, and I had heard about Mookie Betts. Like you guys, some of you running backs know I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, right? So he plays for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were playing the Braves this year in the National League Championship Series. So prior to that, he had been in the American League. So I knew of him, but I hadn't really watched a whole lot of his games. But I got a chance to see him up close and personal as far as when he played the Braves this year. I got a chance to study him a little bit more. So as I started to read more about this guy, I was reading this article today, and it talked about, him talking to his team. And this is back in February now. Okay, this is back in February. So a little bit of background on Mookie Betts. He was a great player with the Red Sox, and he won the AL MVP back in 2018. So he's a great player. The Dodgers are a great team. The Dodgers have played in the World Series like 3 out of the last 4 years or something crazy like that. They just haven't been winning. All right, so they acquire Mookie Betts in a trade, and he's one of the highest paid players in all of the world. Okay, so he's a new guy to a team that is a good team, and they have a lot of stars on that team already. And the article says that he went outside of himself. So maybe his personality is not the type to just, be real vocal, but he stood in front of the Dodgers clubhouse, and they got an accomplished team. These dudes have played in World Series before. All right, he barely knew these cats, and he stressed to them the importance of details before the start of training camp. So, that's leadership. Okay, you talking about you want to be great. These are the things that great players do. Okay, they do some things that may not be comfortable. He don't know these guys. He's new to the team. It's a little bit outside of character for him, but he want to be a champ. He knows what it takes to be a champion, and he gonna let these guys know what it takes. All right, he stood in front of the team, and he told these dudes in February what they got to do. All right, what it takes. All right, so 9 days in the training camp in February. All right, he already stood in front of the team before they start. 9 days in, he challenged his new teammates to generate urgency every day. All right, energy and accountability. He told them this mindset would lead us to a World Series. This is February when he's telling these dudes this. All right, the player said he made the mundane drills competitive. All right, that means your everyday drills that after a certain period of time, some people get bored with. Great players, there ain't no boredom in everyday drills. They take everyday drills and they make that the most important thing. He made it competitive. All right, he helped his teammates get better. You can see that. You can read it. He made his teammates better. They set the tone for the lineup. He's the leadoff hitter. That means he bats first every game. So he set the tone with how they practice, the energy they practice with. He took the level of the drills up, made them more competitive. Okay, and it says he led in a manner that was sincere and organic. All right, not forced or contrived. All right, and it says at the bottom right there, he backed it all up with action every day. Every day he did that. All right, and that goes back to what Coach Parker was talking about, consistency. This is something he did every day. He demanded it from his teammates, and then he showed up every day. We're talking about greatness. This is what it takes to be great. There is no other way to do it. There is no other road. Like, there's only one road that leads to greatness, and this is it.
I think what stood out to me reading this, and as you break it down, it's like, okay, it takes a lot to stand in front of a team, in front of your teammates and your peers, and put yourself in a position where you're challenging them. All right, so it made me think, okay, how did he get to that point? Right, and it almost seems like we're saying the same thing over and over again, but I think it's very unique to understand, really how did he get to that point where what he said and what he was doing made a point. So, one, obviously, you have to know who you are, which means you're comfortable in your own skin, right? I know exactly what I'm about. I know he just, like we read about on the page before, he wanted to be great. All right. So when you know those things, all right, I'm comfortable within that. All right. So when I do step in front of my teammates, I can communicate with them in a very sincere and organic way. I'm not trying to say something that sounds right. I'm not trying to do something. It's coming from me. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, my words don't have to be perfect. All right. But it's coming from a genuine, authentic place because I know exactly where I'm coming from. I know exactly what I'm about. So the way I'm communicating that is natural. All right. But what made his words matter is that he put action behind his words. That what he said, that he, as he challenged his teammates, let's do this, he did that. And he did that and not trying to find some, okay, so these guys win a championship. He's been a major league MVP. All right, he didn't say, hey, we need to do these new drills. He didn't say, hey, let's do this new thing. He concentrated on, let's do the stuff that we do every single day, and let's compete in that, and let's get better in that, and let's bring energy to that. You have to find something new. All he did was and say, hey, this is what makes us great. Let's work at it. And he led by actually putting his actions to his words.
Yes.
If you're looking for a step-by-step process of how do I grow into that right way to be a leader, how do I grow into that? That's what it's got to do. It starts with yourself, starts with you being comfortable with that, putting in the work, and then you have it allows you to have the boldness and have the confidence to be like, hey guys, let's do this. And then it comes to be about where now you can make an impact and change on your football team. That's
critical, man. What Coach Parker said about him being comfortable in his own skin, that's crucial, fellas. We've talked about this before. I know in the running back when we talked about being a leader. When you're a leader, it works better when you are just being yourself. You know, that's a big deal. Not trying to, you know, have your style be like somebody else's style. Everybody is built different. When you're comfortable with who you are, and you know, you have decided that you're trying to do things a certain way, and you're yourself, you know, everybody respects that. People respect you when you're doing things the way you do them, and not trying to necessarily be like somebody else. But you know, you got to back it up with action. That's critical. All right, so um, this is what, you know, one of his teammates said about him. Okay, he said, I think day in and day out, consistency of what he does on the baseball field separates him. Okay, he says that's what separates him. Okay, he said that after game one of the World Series, Clayton Kershaw said this. He said, you might see one game and not really appreciate Mookie to his full potential. But he said, now that we've seen it for a full season, for us, he said, you kind of get to appreciate it. Now, here's the thing that's important about this quote. All right, this quote comes from Clayton Kershaw. And again, some of you guys may not follow baseball that much. All right, but y'all recognize when somebody is a good player, okay, by the awards and stuff that they win. So Clayton Kershaw is a Gold Glove winner. All right, he's a National League MVP. Okay, he's been a Cy Young Award winner. That means that's the best pitcher, okay, in the National League, and he's an 8-time All-Star. So Clayton Kershaw, all right, by the time he gets done and he retires, he will be a Hall of Famer in baseball. So this is a Hall of Famer looking at Mookie Betts and how he works every day and saying that this dude, the way he works day in and day out, separates him from everybody else. That's a Hall of Famer saying that about another person. So, like, for that dude to say that means that dude is out there really, really displaying greatness every day and how he works every day. All right. In the past 5 seasons, Mookie Betts leads all major leaguers in defensive runs saved. Okay, he's won 5 straight Gold Gloves. So the reason why I put this on here, all right, Mookie Betts is an awesome player. Okay, in the NLCS, when they were playing against the Braves, he was struggling at the plate. He was not having a great series hitting, but he affected the game no matter what, right? He found a way to affect the game. So how does that translate to football, right? So if we throw a touchdown pass, we might throw a touchdown pass to a tight end, we might throw a touchdown pass to a receiver, for example. They're not going to always talk about how the running back picked up the blitz. You know what I'm saying? So they may not see you score a touchdown on that play as a running back, but they see the quarterback throw the ball to the receiver, to the tight end, and everybody talks about that. But the thing that made that play work was the fact that you picked up the blitz. You know what I mean? So this dude was affecting the game with his defense while his bat was kind of trying to find his way. As a tight end, you know, if we cut that thing back on the inside zone, for example, ain't nobody going to really be talking on TV about your heavy C block. But that heavy C block might be the key block that makes that thing, you know, go to the house. So you got to find ways to affect the game. It may be on special teams. You may be one of them dudes to run down and make a tackle on punt or on kickoff. You know, me and Coach Parker were talking. It may not be necessarily a play that gets everybody in the stands excited, but it might be a tough-ass heavy C block by the tight end and tailback, running back. It might be a hard 3-yard run to keep the chains moving. You know, something that most people might skip over in the game, but you got to find ways to make an impact on the game. And that's what this guy did in the NLC.
We talk about opportunity a lot in the room. Everybody's opportunity is not going to be the same. It's not. But it's up to you as a player, it's up to you as a man, that when your opportunity comes, in whatever shape, form, or fashion that it comes, that you are ready to take advantage of it. All right? And how do you do that? You do that by staying focused on what it is that you want to be, what it is that you want to do. All right? And take advantage of the opportunities and being ready. All right? You can't be ready if you're worrying about what somebody else getting. You can't be ready if you down because you're not getting what you think you should be getting. All right? When your opportunity comes, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to stand up. And as you take care of your opportunities, you do what you're supposed to do within those opportunities. and you'll get more, and then you'll get more, continue to get more. But like, you know, it might not come in the beginning. You might get it early on. Nobody knows how it comes, or you know, or what the situation is going to be. But you have to be ready. You have to be prepared. You got to be focused. You got to be willing to go through that journey when you figure out, you know, how am I going to make this contribution?
No doubt. So I think I got some video here I just wanted to show you real quick. So the Braves, you know, Baines called it. Baines told me the Dodgers was going to win. I wasn't really feeling Baines. The Braves had the Dodgers down.
Yeah, told you.
Baines called it.
Told you.
The Braves had the Dodgers down 3-1. All we had to do was for the Braves to win one more game and go to the World Series. And in Game 5, Mookie Betts defensively changed the whole series. I'm gonna see if I can pull these clips up right here. So we had them, you know, about to eliminate them 3 games in a row, and they played them 3 days in a row because of COVID. So here is Game 5. You know, Mookie Betts making a play here.
And that's off the end of the bat into right. Charging it is Betts. And tagging and scoring is Ozuna. 3-0. Atlanta, they check at third to make sure that Ozuna, with apparently perfect base running, didn't leave early, but now Bob Guerin's onto the phone, and they may want to take another look at that. This is an incredible catch, and the only thing that prevents him from throwing out Ozuna, watch the transfer. Great catch right there. And we'll get an angle. Yeah. He's off the bag. Yep. They're going to overturn this. And that will be a big play for the Dodgers. But what a play by Mookie. He still threw out Ozuna at the plate. Everybody in the park saw Ozuna leave early now on the replay on the board. There's a call. The inning is over. What a play by Mookie Betts in right.
All right, so that's Game 5. All right, that play right there. All the Braves need to do is win one game, in the series is over. The Braves went to the World Series. That's Game 5. All right, Mookie makes that play. That changes the whole series. All right, the Dodgers still 1 game away. They face an elimination again in Game 6. You know, this dude right here shows up again in Game 6.
They're going to make sure. Here's a high fly ball into right. Back is Betts on the move, on the track. He's got it to end the inning. What a catch by Mookie Betts. Made the defensive play of the game last night. May have turned around game number 5. May have turned around this series. And now on the ball hit by Ozuna, up and up against the wall to end the top of the 5th and fire up the Dodgers, leading by 3.
That's 2 days in a row for this cat. You know what I mean? Game 5, Game 6, he's finding ways to affect the game. He's changing the game. And then, you know, with his help, they force a Game 7. All right, they went all the way from everybody, you know, except for Baines, thinking it was over. and then they forced Game 7, and you know, he shows up again. Series on the line.
Freddie Freeman lifts this one way up there. It's like Betts didn't see it at first. Now goes back. Johnson, he does it again. Mookie putting his stamp all over the NLCS defensively. That's how you do it. Watch how he times. This is a taller fence than center field, and he gets way up. He knew the timing. Once he tracked the ball, he knew if he jumped.
Do you know how focused you got to be?
You get too close to the
What? That's crazy focus.
We saw that
Like, You gotta be so focused because you can't really see the ball until at the last minute. Like you can point it, you can see how far you're going to go, but you got to get there.
I
Like
mean,
he going backwards.
exactly. I mean, dude is dude is showing up and he is making plays, right? So, you know, he won the 2018 American League MVP, all right, with Boston Red Sox. So now he's a finalist this year for the 2020 National League MVP. If he wins the MVP in the National League this year, there will only have been two people in all of Major League Baseball history to ever do that. Him and a guy named Frank Robinson, who was a Hall of Famer. So, this guy right here is finding ways, man, to show up. He struggled in the NLCS with his bat. All right, he found ways to affect the team and affect the series with his glove. All right, and then as they moved into the World Series, he found his bat again, and he turned this thing up. And I just want to quick, show you guys just some of his highlights here with what he did in the World Series real quick.
Well, Coach, I think between you and LeBron, y'all just really made a great point. The thing LeBron was saying, like, he was asking, do you know how focused you have to be to make that play, right? And then you just reiterated the point that, he was struggling at the plate. So no matter what was going on with him, he was so focused on what he had to do. He didn't have time to feel sorry for himself.
No.
He went out there in the outfield like, man, I gotta do better at this, or I gotta get this right. He was focused and he was living in the moment so he could maximize his opportunity to make it and his opportunity showed up. His opportunity maybe at the plate didn't work out the way that he wanted it. Everybody dreams about hitting home runs and that's how you win the game.
Yes.
It didn't play out that way for him, but he remained focused in the moment and he was able to make those plays. If he was worrying about his past failures or his past little setbacks, he can't make those plays.
It's the next play. You can't worry about the old plays.
Talk about it.
That's right, LeBron.
Talk about it.
I think right here, okay, Game 6, okay, of the World Series is a classic example of what we're talking about, what we're all saying right here. So I just got, I got some clips here I want to show y'all, so bear with me. Game 6, and just see what happens with Mookie and how he has to battle. It's a constant battle, and you got to know who you are. If you know who you are, that's when you give yourself a real chance. All right, so this is Game 6. This is every at-bat he had in Game 6. All right, this is first at-bat of the World Series in Game 6.
In 7, lead the Rays 3-2, and a strikeout starts the night for Snell.
All right, so first at bat, my man sat him down, struck him out. All right, so you still got to go back into the field. You got to play defense. You're going to get another at bat. You got to get up there. You got to use your fundamentals. You got to know who you are. Stay within yourself. Come back up, ready to battle. All right, second at bat.
Another strikeout for Snell. 6, and he's gotten Bex twice.
All right, this man done struck you out 2 times in a row. All right, now here you come up for the 3rd time. All right, what are you getting done? All right, what are you getting done now? Are you going to stay within yourself? All right, are you going to do something different? Be who you are.
Here's a 2-0. Hard hit and fair. Down the line. Hits the fence. Checking for third is Barnes. They will hold him there on a double by Betts, and the Dodgers are in business in a blink here in the 6th. 2nd and 3rd. 1 out. And this one gets by Zunino. Tie game.
He sparked that whole thing.
Infield still in. Here's a play at the plate. Throw home. Too late. Dodgers lead. Betts scores. And just like that, the Dodgers are on top by 1 in the 6th. And just like that, Mookie Betts was ready to run and scored on that ground ball.
All right, the dude, if the team was losing 1-0, he's a great player. Great players show up in big moments. All right, he had 2 strikeouts. He didn't let that affect who he was. He didn't let that affect how he conducted his business. He went to that plate, and his intention was to get on base. All right, he sparked that whole thing. He knocks the guy around. Then he ends up scoring. All right, they're up 2-1. All right, and this is his last at bat of the game. Mookie's last at bat of the game. This is how, big time players show up in big time moments.
Here's the 0-2 to Betts. High fly ball left center. Back at the wall, and it's gone. Betts. It's made it 3-1. Dodgers there in the 8th inning. Mookie with a blast in the left center field.
So, obviously, if you don't know, the Dodgers end up winning the World Series. Okay, they're the World Series champs. But you think about starting back in February, this man got in front of his team and told his team what it was going to take for them to win the World Series. And then he went out there and he showed them every day what it was going to take for them to get there. Every day he showed them dudes. And when it came time for somebody to step up and make a big-time play, he was the guy that did it. He was the guy that sparked stuff. They down 3-1 in the NLCS. This dude hustling, make a catch, and change the whole series. They was getting ready to clean out their locker. And the same dude who stood up in front of everybody that he did not know in February changed the whole thing and put these guys on, the journey on the road to winning the World Series, and they got it done. And now he's about to be the 2020 MVP of the National League potentially. They're going to vote, or they're going to announce it, I guess, next Thursday. So greatness, man, is something that you got to do every day. Like Coach Parker said, it's not something you do only when you feel good or when the sun is shining. It's an everyday thing. It's all about your habits and how you conduct your business every day.
I think in those clips you just saw, my pastor says sometimes, he's like, church folk don't know when to shout, right? So you miss something, and something you can miss. And what he just showed you was that, this was the deciding game, and he faced adversity with those 2 first at bats, right? So now everybody that plays sports, all right, you go through the same thing. You have a little bit of failure early on, you face a little adversity, something doesn't go your way. You gotta listen to that self-talk that you have in your mouth, in your mind. Is it you? Is something going wrong with you? Something wrong with you? Do I gotta change up? Do I gotta do something? Like you gotta answer all these questions. All right. But how you answer those questions is, one, you either have evidence of your work or your preparation, or knowing who you are, and you solid in that. And like, nah, ain't nothing wrong with me. I just gotta go up there and do my thing. He didn't make any big changes. He didn't. All he did was clean the slate, went right back up to that bat. I'm gonna do my thing. And you do that because what did Coach say at the beginning? It was his daily routine of him getting after it and working hard every single day, and just the basic fundamentals, basic drills, the mundane, the stuff that you do every single day that you can kind of like check out mentally and just kind of go through the motions. Fight that urge.
Yes.
Fight that urge and fight that to push yourself to work. I'm gonna get better at my bucket step today. I'm gonna get better at receiving the ball. I'm gonna get better at fitting up. Get better at it and challenge yourself to really get after it, because in those moments, that's what you reach down and find your success. Things are going crazy. It's chaotic. You're gonna have a little bit of adversity. All right. This dude done got past me a couple of times. The answer is not in something new, fellas. It's not. It's based into what you do every single day. That's the answer. All right. But have you done it enough? Have you worked at it enough? Do you have enough belief in yourself to just buckle down and do that? That's the challenge, man. That's the challenge. And at the biggest stage, that's how he found success. That's how they won a World Series.
No doubt, man. He started
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, he started in February and told him what it was going to take, and then he showed him. So listen, this thing is getting ready to cut off because we're gonna run out of time. But hey, we want to thank y'all for hopping on here. Hopefully you guys got something out of this, man. And make up your mind who you want to be, what you want to be about, and attack that, all right, with consistency every day. All right. We'll holler at you guys later on, man.